Mountain biking can be daunting. There are lots of different bikes and there's lots of different opinions. But here's the Bike Nerd's guide to the beginner kit you actually need. And no, it's not going to break the bank. Mountain biking is amazing fun. It's the cycle sport with the widest range and it's the easiest to access. Full stop. There's no cars, there's just good vibes, and you can 100% choose your own adventure for whatever super niche you begin to enjoy the most. So yes, there is a wide range of subgenres and niches. And well, that's a video in itself, but we're going to stick to the best beginner's kit. Mountain biking is pretty simple, but it's rapidly evolved from its roots in the wooded hills around Marin County. And now there's a really wide range of bikes available, with category names like cross-country, trail, enduro, downhill, freeride, and many, many more. There are some subtle and not so subtle differences between these bikes, but again, that is a video in itself. And you're all in luck because we made one really recently. We'll put a link in the description box just below. But to make things simple though, if you just want to get a taste of off-road life, if you've been a roadie in a past life, the best thing you can get is a simple hardtail. It's a great starting point. So yes, you can invest lots of time and lots of money into all manner of awesome niche mountain bike machines, but a hardtail mountain bike will be the first best taste of the sport. They're simple to look after and you will get some great skills in riding them. Don't be fooled either. Hardtails can still take you far and wide and high. GMBN's very own Blake Sampson raced the Enduro World Series on his hardtail, and in the 2024 Olympics, one of the cross-country gold medals was won on a hardtail, so they can take you really far. Okay, there's never been a better time to buy your first mountain bike. Bikes now are the best they've ever been, with all the tech from all the top-down ranges filtering down into entry-level bikes to give you, the new rider, the best possible off-road experience. Genuinely, you'd not go out and buy a set of running shoes if they're the wrong size. And that might lead to quickly getting an injury or uncomfortable running, so you just wouldn't do it. And it's the same with bikes too. So yes, it can be overwhelming as a task to understand sizing on bikes, and we could fall into a huge discussion about lots of different terms. And they are really interesting terms once you get into riding. But the best advice is that, well, most brands have got really detailed size guides on their websites. So you can take time to research those and see what size you'll need based most likely on your height. You will need to do a bit of research, but once you know the size of the bike you're looking for, it can pay to look around for deals. You can often find great deals on bikes if you're willing to compromise on either an older bike or maybe a different colour or a slightly different spec level. The first essential piece of kit you'll need is a helmet. Even though they're not legally required here in the UK, we can't stress enough how important they are. Let's face it, chances are at some point you will end up having a bit of a tumble or a crash. And well, head injuries are no joke, so it does make sense to protect what you can, to protect your head as much as you can and as much as possible. There's a really huge range of different helmets and different types of helmet on offer because they cover the whole range of mountain biking. Lightweight helmets, open face cross-country helmets, to bigger and burlier full face helmets for downhill racing and freeride. What is a must is that the helmet you get meets the safety standards of your country. If you've ever been looking at helmets and seen things like CEN 1078 or CPS certified, this means the helmet has passed a minimal legal standards to go on sale. But there are rating agencies doing more in-depth testing too. Currently, one of the best places to look for test data on helmets is from the US University, Virginia Tech. Their testing process includes 24 separate impact tests and measures linear acceleration and rotational velocity for each impact. They say their testing better replicates the type of impacts and forces that you might actually experience compared to the standard government testing. And the testing proves that you don't have to throw more money at the problem. Some of the highest rated helmets are among the cheaper helmets too. Safety testing aside, another factor to bear in mind, or bear in head, is comfort, ensuring the helmet fits you and you want to wear it too. If you can, try on a range of helmets before you buy, as each brand has a subtly different fit. So you've got your head protected, what's next? Well, mountain bike body armour comes in a range of different types, from lightweight knee pads right through to full bodysuits with built-in hard shell armour. You too can look like a Ninja Turtle. But if you want to go down the better safe than sorry route, a pair of knee pads and maybe even some elbow pads are a really good investment. Let the type of riding you're doing and your own confidence levels be your guide. If you're just planning on some leisurely forest road rides, you may not feel you need any armour, but if you're spending time at a bike park, then pads would be a very smart move. Well, I've crashed, but you won't do that. With that said, whatever type of riding you're doing, if you're lacking confidence, then sometimes pads might put your mind at ease. Another thing to consider are gloves. Some riders love them and some riders hate them. But if you're starting out, then a well-fitting pair of gloves can help give you more comfort on the bike and a bit more protection if or when you come off it. Mountain bike specific gloves will have a thinner palm to give you more feeling through the bars, and some others will have nifty features like silicone printed strips on your braking fingers to stop your fingers slipping off the brake levers. Other models might feature things like protection around the knuckles and the back of your hand, but a simple pair of gloves will do the job just as nicely. Safety done, time to get comfortable. I'm very lucky. I've ridden lots of bikes. I've had to fix lots of bikes too, and not just race bikes either. And I know that comfort is well worth investing in. I'm a big believer in that mountain biking can be brilliant for all, but, well, I guess that's a point, a sore butt, or more specifically sore sit bones. They can really ruin a ride, much faster than you might imagine. So yes, getting some padded shorts, aka the chamois short, is a good idea. Yep, I know, it's an odd name, and actually it comes from the goat that was used to provide the leather on really early padded shorts. But don't worry, modern chamois share just the name, so they're made from breathable antibacterial materials with padding structures with dual density and gel foam, so no old goats. You can get them in a short style or like a traditional bib style with shoulder straps that stay up and do feel a bit more comfortable, but you can get ones that are more like a brief. Actually, we've got some great shorts in our shop, but do look out for entry-level ones from the bigger out-of-town retailers, like Decathlon. And nope, no undies underneath. The chamois is designed to sit right next to you because it's more comfortable that way. It's not for everyone, but if you're getting into longer rides, then chamois cream, which is a gentle topical balm, can help. Best described as creating a slide layer between the chamois and you and the saddle. Okay, that might sound really odd, but it genuinely works for longer rides. Try it. Finally, I think MTBs for baggies are more than just a sign of being a mountain biker. And I say baggies, I mean baggy shorts or baggy trousers. And it's an odd reference, but in the boom years of 90s mountain biking, we were pretty much top to toe in Lycra. So looser overshorts are still called baggies because, well, they were baggier. I mean, hopefully that's not just me and it's a general term, otherwise I'll look really odd. Not only can it cover a multitude of sins, but you'll have pockets and you'll have an extra level of protection between you and your kind of undershorts and your skin. Plus a semblance of style. So when you're stopping for a mid-ride coffee, you'll not look like a complete dork. Okay, for me, slightly less of a dork. Okay, right, we've got comfort and modesty sorted. What about up top? For the rest of the clothing kit, layering is a core principle. In helping wick away moisture, mountain biking is intensive. You'll get warm really fast. So having a wicking base layer and a breathable top will help you. Obviously, when it's cold, adding an insulating layer, maybe like a gilet is a great example. And if there's a chance of rain, a shell layer is a really smart choice too. Cotton t-shirts, they just don't wick. They just stay wet from, well, sweat, and that's really uncomfortable. And it could lead you to getting cold fast, and that's another way to suck the joy out of mountain biking, which we don't want. Remember, you don't have to go wild to begin with, but get stuff that fits and is comfortable. That's a real key. And as your riding develops, you can add more layers. Likewise, look for jackets that you can not only use for mountain biking, but you can use every day until the mountain bike bug bites really hard and you've got your own dedicated mountain bike wardrobe, just like me. Yes, you can go wild on tools. The range of tools available for out and about and at the home is wildly amazing. It's quite daunting, but don't worry, you don't need to buy all your tools straight away. So here are some essentials that I'd recommend. Okay, a good multi-tool. This is for the trail and, well, lots of home fixes too. For me, the best example is Paik's Hexus X. It's the benchmark best multi-tool for a beginner or someone who's really experienced. It's got everything you need and nothing that you don't. You've got a good combination of hex or Allen keys and Torx keys. You've got a chain tool, and it's got tyre levers, and for around 20 quid. And I mentioned tyre levers, so you'll also need a spare tube and a trail pump. That's the sort of bare minimum kit, because walking home is rubbish. I know as the pre-nerd, Owen had to do the long walk of shame home. On trail, having a small pack for all of these tools and, well, space for an extra layer and some snacks is a good option too. Now, if you're getting into outdoor adventures, getting a pack that can turn its hand at maybe trail running or hiking or the commute can be a really good option because it spreads that cost, well, across all sports, and you can make more of a really good pack. The final essential tool is a track or floor pump. Okay, the name is a bit odd and we don't have to go into details why, but essentially it's a big pump. And yes, I know I'm getting you to get 2 pumps, but one's really big and it will have a really big pressure gauge, and that's a must. And that's because tyre pressure needs to be checked and set before every ride. And the ease of use of these really big pumps, track or floor pumps, makes it a super simple task. I'd also steer you towards some of the mountain bike specific ones. They're designed for the higher volume, lower pressure tyres and sort of like pumping up needs that mountain bikes have. So they work better and easier. Mountain biking does have a lot of odd terms for a lot of different things, including pedals. We talk about clips and we talk about flats, and that is confusing. When we mean clip-in pedals, they require a special pedal and a special shoe with a bolt-in cleat that mechanically engages the pedal. When we say flat, we really mean a platform pedal, although they often have pins in them for traction and they aren't really flat. Okay, so please do come at me in the comments, but I feel flat pedals are the best for beginners. They're easier to use, they'll help you get the right technique for riding. They're cheaper, and for me, they're way more fun, which is why even now, not as a beginner, I still ride in flats. Okay, you can get dedicated shoes for clips or flats, and the shoes do make a difference even if you're just riding flats. You could use your runners or you could use a trail running shoe, but from my experience, they're just not as good. The sole doesn't have the traction and they're, well, not designed for pedaling. And good flat pedal shoes don't have to be super expensive either, but that sole, that's the key bit behind them. They're designed to give lots of traction from those pedal pins and for being off-road. So a normal pair of trainers is going to cut up quite quickly. So although you might save money in the short term, long term, you'll find yourself replacing shoes more often. Mountain biking is not running. It's way more fun than that, but it does still take some goal setting to help drive you along. Mountain biking is great. I know I keep banging on about it, but what's great about it is it's not just fitness. You do need to learn trail skills and maintenance skills. Luckily, we've got a massive collection of how-tos, from better bunny hops to how to wash your bike better. What's great though is fitness is still important too. Yes, we've got lots of videos on that. On that note, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That way, well, you'll see all our new videos as soon as they're released. And if you've enjoyed this one and you enjoy other videos from us, give us a thumbs up. It really helps us keep making this content and hopefully content that you enjoy. So back to goals, be those riding longer or riding more challenging trails or setting your own routes and discovering your own local loop. It's all great, but do set them. As with many sports, it's easy to get hooked in early and sort of go a bit wild, but try and go slow to avoid injury. Be happy and be confident to know what level you can ride, and then you can grow from there. Some things that I feel are really important when you first begin your mountain bike journey is to get into good habits and get into them early. Actually, I'll break them into kind of, well, 2 separate bits. We've got bike stuff and then we've got human stuff. Bike stuff, well, it's quite simple really. It is just air and oil. Air, check your tyres have got the right amount of air for where you're riding. Don't worry, we've done a video on that too. And oil, just make sure that you've got just enough oil on your chain. A well-lubed chain is more efficient and wears slower. So yeah, of course, we've done another video on that. Now, oil related, if you've been on a cruddy or muddy ride, wash your bike after you ride. Hopefully before the mud is too encrusted, but don't worry, Again, we've done a video on that. Okay, the you stuff. A warm up and warm down is a great idea, just to keep your body primed for action. Or if you're like me and you're a little bit vintage, then you'll just be a little bit less achy the next day. If you followed my earlier advice about taking a bag with you, make sure that you bring a drink and a snack, just in case. We've done a video on that too. Yes, mountain biking is amazing. Starting out, it might not be easy because, well, there's quite a lot to learn. From riding tougher trails to improving your fitness, well, you can always keep on finding new bits to improve on. It is really fun. And much like the trail itself, very zen now. Your mountain biking journey is going to have some ups and downs. Sort of the highs of finding new places to ride, new people to ride with, new skills that you've learned. They're all great, but you will have some lows like crashes and mechanicals and even getting caught out in bad weather. The pros definitely outweigh the cons though. So otherwise, well, we'd all have given up, and I'm really old and I'm still riding. So do persevere. Try and upskill as much as you can. Try and up those skills mechanically and riding. Okay, that's all my advice, but what are your beginner tips? Just join the community down below in the comments and, well, let's do more. Let's get more people into riding.